my name is Mohsin Ali Rahim, and I'm going to talk about vehicle and highway characteristics. Basically, highway and vehicle characteristics, that's a difficult word. I should be given extra points for pronouncing that. Basically, it is what it sounds. It's the features of highway and vehicles. Why do we need to know these features? This information can be crucial for future design, construction, any kind of modifications that we need to do for a road, for a highway. These information can become very handy and they can be crucial for future consideration. What are some of these characteristics? One of these, there are a lot and variety, and the more you go and the more you think, you're going to see really variety of characteristics of a road or for a county or for a city and what have you. Let's narrow it down to a small list so we can get an idea about characteristics and how important they are. One of these characteristics is population. The increase, decrease of any population can affect this demand and supply curve. You have more people. In a simple example, you have more people in a city or in a county. You're gonna have like more people going to the grocery stores, and whether these population are families or not families, or single people or non-single people, all of these kind of things can really affect of the dynamics on the road. From a transportation standpoint, the growth of population in a certain place may increase the utilization of the roads. Therefore, car jams may occur, and a traffic engineer needs to be aware of the source of the problem before he solves it, because if he doesn't know what causes the problem, it might be difficult to solve it. So that's why it's so important to be aware of population data and population pattern, whether it's increasing, decreasing, whether you need to be aware of the ages of people, how old they are, what kind of jobs they're having. All these kind of things might actually play a role in design or construction or any type of modification. Or vehicle statistics. Vehicle statistics is a very wide and broad subject that we can really go deep into because of all the aspects of vehicles. I mean, technically, the vehicle is kind of like the reason that we need a highway in the first place, because of the vehicles. Like in the past, there was no when people didn't use this heavy automobile, like these big automobiles, roads weren't really an issue. But now when everyone is using a car, a vehicle, it's kind of a necessity to get as much information on vehicles as possible. According to Transportation and Traffic Engineering Handbook, aka the Red Book, world registration of motor vehicles in 1978 totaled 380 million, more than 5 times the number registered in 1950, where 5 million vehicles registered in the United States alone. That's according to the Red Book, and the number is growing. So you cannot use the same design criteria for 1978 that he used in 1950, and in 2019 you cannot use the one from 2010, for example, because the number is growing. Yeah, probably it's different. That was like a revolutionary time, but you still need to see the changes. Economy play big role in people's life, as well as is there public transportation or not. So it's important to know like how many vehicles how many registered vehicles we have, along with the all other aspects. One more aspect that we need to consider really when it comes to vehicles, when it comes to vehicle statistics, we need to consider the size of the cars as well. Is this a small, uh, let's see the percentage of SUVs, big cars versus small cars, medium cars, a truck, or whatever, like construction equipment. All these kind of things are important so we can really design properly for what we need. I remember when I was in India in summer of 2015, I didn't remember seeing any big cars in there, rather all medium cars. So I didn't remember seeing something with the size of a Ford Expedition or uh, Tahoe or anything like that. Didn't remember seeing a minivan there, which is interesting. If I were a traffic engineer in India, I would definitely put that into consideration because it's gonna play a big role in the design. The Red Book mentioned a very interesting point as a data statistics, which is the mode of transportation or the mode of domestic passenger travel. I think it's very interesting because if you are a person who doesn't fly, or for whatever reason, let's say for a health reason, you want to make sure you accommodate everyone. As a traffic engineer, I have to take that into consideration because at the end of the day, we are public servants as civil engineers. And we have to make sure we can serve those who need to travel but cannot fly. As I said before, there are so many aspects, so many things we can consider as traffic engineers. And like, for example, the highway finance, the vehicle operation, the power engine of the vehicle, size of vehicles I already have. It's just like this box of gimmicks t-shirt that I'm wearing right now. You go to your box of information as a traffic engineer. As a traffic engineer, you go to your box of information, to your pile of information, and pick what you need from there as a tool. Because you might not need all of these data, but you might need some of them. So it's so important to go and check that box of gimmicks and use whatever you need from there. Basically, that's why actually GIS integrate very well with transportation engineering or traffic engineering because it represents a very useful database for us as traffic engineers. I believe the highway revolt stories that we learned about last semester stem from overlooking these important data. Take Highway to Nowhere in Baltimore, for example. They had multiple high-skilled engineering teams, and yet they failed to get the project done. I believe that one of the reasons they failed to get that project done because they overlooked these important data about the population, even the social data about Baltimore. They ignored it. That's why they failed. And a lot of money and a lot of energy was wasted because of that negligence. So, in the conclusion, I would like to say it's important for a traffic engineer to be aware of all the data that they can use and be aware about the impact. That's the important. If they educate themselves about the impacts that these data could do for their future, for their design future, if they can understand the impact of these data on their plans, they will be able to get the job done without any problem. These data could be a deal breaker for some projects. And that's why a traffic engineer has to know. It's very essential and important. Thank you very much for listening.